Hi, my name is Mark Boyer, and welcome to The Whiskey Artist. That's what I'm going with. So, today I am here to introduce myself. I am a whiskey enthusiast, not a professional. I go on hunts just like the rest of you do. I find stuff as cheap as I can possibly find it. My moniker is kind of the guy that finds all the MSRP bottles. It's about making relationships. It's about meeting people. It's about, becoming friends with these people. And I will admit that I go into a lot of these stores after meeting folks and I buy things. And even if I go in and I don't really see anything I want to buy, I always try to purchase something. At which point I pick up conversations with them. I also have brought in bottles that I have found, things that I enjoy, and I will take them to some of these guys that I've met, and gals, I should say, because some of them are women, and share. And that gets you in to being able to purchase the allocated, the things that are hard to find, the off the wall, oh, they got one. I've also, over the several years, have shared my phone number with other people. So I get text messages of, hey, Mark, come on down. I've got a birthday bourbon. I have a Russell's 13. I mean, and that's how you make relationships. And I hear lots of different YouTubers, WhiskeyTube people say the same thing, but it really is true. So with that said, my background is in television. I worked in television. I've worked in educational, government, and news television for over 30 years. And mostly on the West Coast, in the Portland, Oregon area. I grew up in Vancouver, Washington. A lot of people think I'm Canadian. No, I'm Vancouver, Washington, which is Southwest Washington along the Columbia River, bedroom community of Portland, Oregon. That's where I grew up. I worked for the city of Vancouver, Washington for 20 years and did basically C-SPAN for the locals. We would produce over 600 programs a year. That's what I did. I ended up meeting a woman from Frankfort, Michigan, and that's where I currently live. In 2005, I finally bit the bullet and moved out here. And 2 years to the week that I moved out here, she got diagnosed with cancer. I was working at 9 and 10 at the time at the CBS affiliate. I was directing the news, and I went in and said, got to quit, because she got diagnosed with cancer. And she had a care home where she took care of people with developmental disabilities and mental health issues. That is currently what I do now. But this happened in October of 2007, and she died July 2nd of 2008. So happened pretty quick. She was 40 years old, and it really sucked. So at which point I ended up being a caregiver. Last job in the world that I ever thought I'd do, especially, working with this population of people that are developmentally disabled from birth, mental illness from birth, or a combination of both. And it's hard, but they're loving folks and they need help. And that's what I do. So I ended up meeting a woman that worked for mental health who I contract with. I also contract with the state of Michigan to do home health care for these folks. And at which point we ended up getting married. And several years went by, that didn't work out. We ended up getting a divorce. In between there, I ended up meeting my current wife, Mercedes, who is the love of my life and the greatest person ever. And so that's where we're at now. I have 6 stepchildren. So with that said, Timmy is in Montana, Heather is in Florida, Stephen is in East Lansing, Elena is currently in Benzonia, Brody is going to school at Ferris State, which is in Big Rapids, Michigan, and Julia is going to Wayne State, which is in Detroit, Michigan. I've raised Brody since he was about 2 years old, and I met my 6th stepchild, Julia, long before I met my wife, because they went to school together, and I used to see her every day. And it was several years later when I finally met my wife, who her name is Mercedes. It's spelled like Mercedes, but she pronounces it Mercedes. It was her great-grandmother's name. It's the Spanish pronunciation. So I always say that to everybody, and we call her Merce, kind of like a purse. We call her Merce, just for confusion's sake. So, and it's still even more confusing. So, but with all that, hi. This weekend is the big LE drop at Evernorth, RX Spirit 2. It should be good. I've tasted it a couple times out of the vat as it's progressed, and it has fluctuated and changed, and it should be pretty good. So it'll be a fun time. There'll be a lot of people there. The drop starts at noon. Get there early and get in line. I'm bringing my camp chair. And probably something to share, but it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning. But you know, it is what it is. I'm probably bringing this. This is a shout out to Jeremy Pelt, who is from the Midland area. He introduced me to this a few weeks ago, so I had to get some. And it's a Scotch, believe it or not. It is the Oban 15 cast strength. So, very good. But with all that, want to give a shout out to Brandon T. Great video, great voiceovers. You're doing a fantastic job. And I just wanted to say to everybody, love you. Have a great weekend.